Last episode, we cleared out the evil school of Scholomance, but jumping back to the present, it turns out Dark Master Ganling survived the encounter using his skill of necromantic magics. So today we'll be taking on the school once again, to put an end to Ganling and destroy the curse that keeps the spirits of Caradero's citizens trapped here. No new lore here related to the school itself, but there is some about a character who's also trying to take it down. Lillian Voss, who you may remember as the Hooded Crusader from the Scarlet Monastery. So before we dive in, let's tell her story. Since birth, Lillian was not raised to be a normal girl. She was raised to be a weapon, a holy assassin loyal to the Scarlet Crusade. Her father, High Priest Voss, oversaw her upbringing, seeing her trained in blades, stealth, and the arcane. She would become a tool to him, a dog he could sick on the Crusade's enemies, and he would continue to use her this way until she would be killed on a mission. Likely by player characters in Classic, actually. The Crusade made no effort to find her body. She was expendable to them, but her body would be eventually discovered by the Forsaken and Death Knell, and they used the unholy power of the Valkyr to raise her into undeath. Lillian was horrified by what she had become, and ran away from Death Knell looking for her father. She ran and ran until she eventually reached a Scarlet Outpost, and reunited with a friend from when she was alive. But instead of a warm welcome, he ended up capturing her and contacted her father. Disappointingly, instead of a message to bring Lillian home, he told her that her father had disowned her and she was to be put to death immediately. Lillian was enraged by this, and attacked and killed her old friend, and she would continue killing, slaughtering the Scarlet Crusade in the area until eventually she found him. Found her father. He would see her as a monster and curse her, and Lillian would slay him as well, severing all ties from her human life once and for all and embracing her new Forsaken one. After this, as you know, he would assist Lillian in acquiring the rune blades and killing High Inquisitor Whitemane in the Scarlet Monastery. But since then, she has started to seek out all remnants of the Scourge, which has brought her to Scholomance. With that out of the way, let's hop into the Mists of Pandaria version of Scholomance. We load into the dungeon and are met by a possessed pile of bones, who gives us some quests, and he really seems to want Ganling dead. But who are we to judge? We also want the guy dead. With quests obtained, time to clear our way towards the first boss. Class is now in session. Okay, well this is a lot of people to pull at once. Why are there so many ghosts? Okay. That was a lot for one trash bag. Yeah, plate belt. That is an upgrade. Nice. New belt. It's actually crazy how different they made, like this is the same, first room as old Scholomance, but the flow of the room is just so much different. Like, it feels like a completely different place. It's kind of neat, actually. Ooh, it's a ring. Yeah, I'll throw that on. Nice, new ring. And just a couple more. This is our last, big trash pack. Dude, they summon so many guys. This already was like a 5v1, and now it's like a 20v1. Oh, Nature versus Heal. Oh, that's interesting. I actually just might keep that. I mean, I'm probably never gonna get 300 classic enchanting, but that's kind of cool. Okay, well, time for the first boss. Our first boss is Instructor Chillheart. She's a lich who was part of the Lich King's army in Northrend, but since his defeat, she made her way south and found herself teaching Dark Arts 101. Her fight is interesting. So it starts out with her summoning a wall of ice that slowly fills the room, and if this wall touches you, it instantly kills you. While the ice wall is active, she can cast Ice Wraith, which makes you take frost damage, Touch of the Grave that empowers her next auto, and Frigid Grasp, which is summoned under you and explodes. So the first phase of the wall is really a DPS race to see if you can kill her before the wall kills you. So that'll be interesting to see play out. and if we do kill her, we'll enter phase 2. So when we enter phase 2, she'll return to her phylactery and summon books around the room that cast random spells. These spells are Arcane Bomb, which just explodes for some damage, Burn, which leaves fire on the ground, and Shadow Bolt, which shoots Shadow Bolts at you. Pretty basic second phase. You just dodge these spells while you DPS down the phylactery to kill her. Let's talk loot though. She's got a breastplate and a necklace drop. I'd take either of these. Now, time for our biggest challenge, the DPS check.
Class dismissed.
So I'm pretty sure this is just like a DPS race. I have to try to kill her before this ice wall gets me. Okay, she's in Hammer of Righteousness range. Yeah, I think we should be able to get her down before this ice wall gets us. There we go. Now we have to DPS down the phylactery. Will these books all fly around? Dude, I feel like Neo. I'm just dodging all this shit. There we go. That was not that hard. Somebody in my Discord said that fight was like an absolute wall for them. That was actually really easy. Oh, necklace. Nice. Also, share with the Discord. You should definitely join that. So after a fight that I honestly thought was going to be a lot harder, it was time to keep pushing through Scholomance. Oh, the talking skull's moseying his way. Glad to see the mobs in this room stayed essentially the exact same. Okay. Oh gosh. Bad things happened last time I was in Scholomance and pulled a bunch of skeletons. Okay, most of the skeletons are dead now. You guys are candlestick mages? What does it imply you do if you're a candlestick mage? Alright, time for the second boss. Up next is a returning boss from the classic version of Scholomance, Jandis Barov. Her spirit has always lurked the halls, but she's recently taken a more active role in teaching advanced illusions to the students. She's pretty similar to her fight in the original Scholomance. Her first ability is Wondrous Rapidity, which releases arcane force in a wave in front of her, and her second ability is the familiar one, Whirl of Illusion, where she hides amongst copies of herself, dealing damage to you every second. Jandis is a pretty simple fight with only 2 abilities, so let's check out the loot. She has a pretty cool looking shield, the plate boots we've been craving for so very long, and a cloak. I'd love to get any of these, but especially the boots. I think this fight should be just as simple as the classic version was, so let's go for it.
Oh, it takes some real stones to challenge the mistress of illusion. Well, show me what you've got.
And this seems pretty simple. You just kind of have to dodge out of the way of that. Is this the only ability she can use? Like, what happened to her whole, like, duplicating thing? Like, is she broken? Is she supposed to be duplicating or anything? This feels very underwhelming. There we go. That was extremely underwhelming. I think the classic version of Jandis was harder. Oh. There goes the skull. So after a really underwhelming fight with Jandis, it was time to go meet her old friend, Lillian Voss.
Make yourselves useful and deal with these summoners.
You heard her, time to help her clear out these necromancers.
Run, necromancer. Your life ends once I catch my breath.
Come, boss. Your fate awaits you.
Okay, next boss time, and it's our boy, it's Rattlegore. It's our boy. Let's get him. Another returning boss, and this time it's my boy Rattlegore. After his many defeats, Gambling resurrected Rattlegore once again, this time instilling him with a deep desire to harvest his enemy's raw materials. Rattlegore is a much more interesting fight this time around. This is due to his main ability, Rusting, which makes him increase his damage by 15% every time he successfully hits an attack on you, but he also lowers his attack speed and move speed by 5% each time. This effect can stack, but expires every 15 seconds he doesn't land a hit on you. This one is dangerous, and we'll have to make sure not to let it get out of hand. His next ability is Bone Spike, where he launches a spike of bone at you that knocks you back. And finally, he has Soul Flame, where around the room pillars of fire shoot out and you have to avoid standing in them. This fight seems like a handful, but at least he has some plate shoulders for us to try and get. So let's just go for it and hope Rusting isn't too crazy. Ow. Rattlegore hurts. Oh my god, that did a lot of damage. Oh, he's really slow. Oh, he just was really slow for a sec for some reason. Ow, fire. Okay, seems to be going fine. But I do have to pay attention and make sure I'm getting bone armor every time. Oh man, I was gonna Divine Shield or Lay on Hands. That's my fault. I got greedy, I thought I could just kill him. Okay, Rattlegore round 2. We have to be more considerate of the Rusting passive as well. We should probably let Rusting reset now. So just keep our distance. Let his passive reset. Okay, now we can fight him again. And there we go. No drop, but we didn't die, so... Well, we did die, but we beat him. That's the important thing. And with another boss down, you know exactly what time it is. Time to clear some trash. So glad to be in the Dr. Krastenov cosplay party. So whack. Oh, these guys, I just read this guy's passive. He has surgical I can't talk. Altercations? Yeah, those. But I think they're surgically modified to look like Dr. Krastenov. That's why they all do.
Did you forget, girl? I am the Dark Master. I command the undead.
I won't let you.
Now turn your lovely rune blades on our guests and fetch me their bones.
Next boss. Our next boss is Lillian Voss, but you may remember her better as the Hooded Crusader from Scholomance Monastery. She traveled here to put down the Scourge remnants hiding out in Scholomance, but has now found herself corrupted by Gambling's dark magic. So, her fight is broken up into 3 distinct phases. So let's talk about phase 1. This phase consists of you fighting her one-on-one. Her abilities consist of Shadow Shiv, where she jumps on you and deals a burst of damage, Death's Grasp, which pulls you to her, and finally Dark Blaze, that summons fire on top of you that burns you over time. This continues until she hits 60%, then phase 2 begins. In this phase, her soul splits from her body and we have to fight it. Her soul can use Blazing Soul, which makes you tick fire damage. This combos with her next ability, Unleashed Anguish, which makes it so when she melees you, she hits another burst of Blazing Soul. So she just kind of stacks burn on you as she hits you. And finally a kind of non-ability, Fixate Anger, which makes her target a random player. And guess who it's going to be. Now we continue to fight her soul until we beat it. After that, her body creaks back to life, and the rest of the fight is fighting her real body and the soul at the same time, both able to use all their abilities. The soul is untargetable though, but can still attack. Whew, that was a lot. Let's talk about loot quick. She has some plate gauntlets for us, and a necklace, which I would quite like. But without further ado, let's just go for it.
I can't fight him.
He's on my neck. Yeah, that doesn't do too much damage when she jumps on my back, but it does hurt. Death's Grasp. I should have read the abilities better. I don't know what this does. Okay, she just pulled... Okay. Maybe this is phase 2. She's still taking damage here, so it's kind of like a free DPS window. Oh. Now I have to fight her soul. She does a lot of damage. She's always gonna fixate on me, though. Because, obviously, I'm the only person in here. She does a good chunk of damage, but it's not as bad as Rattlegore was. I think this should be pretty easy from here. Okay. Now back to her real body. Okay. Oh my god. I had a Divine Shield. That's kind of messed up. He like ripped her soul from her and it's focused on attacking me and we just attack her real body while it watches. Oh, I couldn't hit her with Hammer of the Righteous because she was on my back, so I couldn't get the last holy power to cast Word of Glory to heal. Oh, there's checkpoints. Okay, well, let's give that one a try. That one's tough, actually. We do have Divine Shield for this. So if things get sketchy, we can Divine Shield, but it'll be interesting to see how Phase 3 goes this time. Yeah, I think we just have to stay at a range of the copy. I think that's going to be the play here. Then we're only taking damage from her. Yeah, this is the strat. Okay. There we go. Oh, that was tough. I've liked Rattlegore and I've liked even Instructor Chillheart. Like Chillheart, Rattlegore, and Lillian all have taken a lot of thought. And also we got some gloves. Darkblaze gauntlets. Are those bad boys on? Oh. Can I heal you? Oh. Well, that's another boss down. One more. With our 4th boss down, it was time to keep pushing forward. Only Ganling remains. While we cleared this room, I wanted to update you on the enchanting rod situation. There are actually some developments here. You see, the Horde vendor in the Dead Mines actually sells the exact item we need. But after digging through and hand-checking a lot of dungeons, it seems like no Alliance vendor does. So this is where I need your input. Would you guys be okay with me picking up 1 copper rod and a single strange dust from outside of a dungeon? Now, when I ask that, you may be thinking, but strange dust is obtainable, and you'd be right. Some of you even very kindly, I may add, pointed that out to me back in episode 4. The problem with that is level scaling. I've disenchanted quite a few items already, as you know, and all I ever get are higher tier reagents. It seems like I've missed the level window where strange dust actually drops when you disenchant things, so I can't actually get it on my character anymore. Just to summarize quick, here's why I don't think it's a huge deal. The rod vendor is obtainable, just on Horde, not Alliance. Strange dust would be obtainable under normal circumstances if the scaling didn't make it impossible, and enchanting actually adds way more depth to the challenge. It would be way cooler if I could throw enchantments on my stuff. I think this seems pretty reasonable, but I want to hear from you guys in the comments, so let me know what you think. Also, like and subscribe while you're there. Yep. Anyways, I think we're almost at Ganling, so let's get back to the dungeon. Okay. Let's get him. Once again, the final boss of Scholomance is Dark Master Ganling. His previous defeat put him in a pretty bad mood, resulting in him becoming very harsh on the students. But, in spite of his bad mood, many students have risen beyond his expectations, and those who don't are assigned to lab work or, well, become it. Ganling is essentially the same fight as old Skolo. He has Incinerate, which blasts us for fire damage, Immolate, which burns us over time, and finally his first non-fire ability, Rise, which summons a bunch of ghouls to attack you, and finally a familiar ability, Harsh Lesson, where he teleports you to a random room and you have to fight your way back to him. For drops, he has a pair of plate shoulders and something we haven't seen yet, a trinket, so let's really hope we get that. Anyways, time to take on Ganling and defeat him once and for all.
Duel is in session.
So far, this is pretty underwhelming. He casts Incinerate over and over again. We're very toasty. I wonder if he's ever gonna teleport us into the room. Any of the rooms. This is kind of ridiculous. Is he ever gonna use another one of his abilities? Is this guy just broken on solo? Like he can only cast Incinerate if there's one target? Well, he should be going down pretty shortly. What an underwhelming fight. And we got some shoulder pads. That's not underwhelming. Oh, also, here's the twist. The skeleton guy was actually the freed spirit of Alexei Barov, who wanted us to lift the curse and free him and his family. So now he's free and not bound here anymore. So that kind of wraps up the whole story of Scholomance. Kind of dripped out. We're looking good. Well, that is new Scholomance down. I'm not gonna lie, that last boss was extremely disappointing. And with that, we've defeated the last boss of New Scholomance and lifted the curse that has plagued it. With another victory under my belt, I looked for another dungeon to clear and settled on the Sunken Temple. So let's learn what gives us a reason to clear this temple out. The temple's story starts over 1,000 years ago, with a great troll empire called the Gurubashi. They ruled over the southern areas of Azeroth and were unified in one cause: fighting the Akir, powerful insect-like servants of the old gods, and it would continue this way for decades. But over time, the Akir threat would diminish and the Empire had less to fight against, and so they started to realize how much the trolls within the Empire actually disagreed on how to do things. The biggest issue was with the sect of trolls who worshipped an ancient blood god named Hakar the Soul Flayer. This group would grow so powerful, they would eventually overthrow the Gurubashi leadership and take control of the Empire. They would use the power of the blood god to destroy all Gnolls and Murloc clans around them, seizing even more territory. This would continue until they drew notice from the Zandalari. The Zandalari were disgusted to find their fascination with the blood god and prepared an invasion of the Gurubashi capital. The battle between the two empires would last multiple days and multiple nights, but the Zandalari would eventually claim victory, defeating the Gurubashi and preventing Hakar from coming into the world. But the most devout followers of Hakar would survive and retreat into the Swamp of Sorrows. There they would erect a massive temple to continue their worship and rituals, but once again they would catch the attention of someone bigger than them. Ysera, the green dragon aspect. She unleashed her power and sunk the temple into the swamp, and left green dragons inside to stop the trolls from ever coming back in. Now, one would think the trolls would call it quits after an entire army defeated them and they got burnt up by a dragon aspect. But I guess Hakar forgot to put any quit into his followers. As you see, in the present day, the Emerald Nightmare has infected the green dragons and drove them mad. They are now unable to protect the temple from the followers of Hakar. And the followers have taken advantage of this, and returned led by Jamalan the Prophet, to attempt to summon their god once again. So who better to stop dragons and a blood god than a guy who struggled to beat 4 skeletons last episode? You know the drill at this point. As soon as we loaded in, we grabbed a request and started clearing our way to the first boss. Oh, well, there's level 22.
While clearing the first pack of trash, we hit level 22. So let's go over how I used the skill point I gained. I used it to gain the passive Cavalier, which gives our Divine Steed ability an extra charge. Now you may think this seems useless and is just used for mobility, but you'll see why I took this a little later in the video. Anyways, back to the dungeon.
I believe, yeah. Alright, time for the first boss.
The first boss is the Avatar of Hakar, which, as implied, this is not Hakar's true self, but simply a vessel for his spirit. And this is a particularly strong avatar, as they've been using the dead bodies of green dragons to empower it. Now that sounds menacing, but this fight is pretty simple. The Avatar's first ability is Cause Insanity, which drives a player insane and makes them turn on their allies. Likely it won't be able to cast this, just like the mind controls in Scholomance. Next it has Curse of Tongues, which reduces your casting speed by 50% for 15 seconds. And then finally it has Lash, which stuns you for 2 seconds, and the attack has a 10% chance of disarming you for 5. Now, with the mechanics out of the way, let's look at drops. The Avatar has a cape, a plate chestplate, and a one-handed weapon. All pretty good upgrades, so let's just go for it.
Oh, they lock us in, it's like a cage match. Yeah, I don't think this guy can cast his mind control, so this is pretty pretty free, and he's stunnable, so I can just kind of do that to him. He's so big, I need to zoom out. There, now we can actually see him. I think this is one of my favorite, like, classic models, like the skeleton wyvern. It's really cool looking. I think it still kind of holds up. I'd love like a mount to this, but I guess it wouldn't really make sense how you ride it. It's a weird shape. You can't really throw a saddle on that. There we go. None of his drops, so we did get some cloth boots, which I'm still looking for those plate boots. Love to get some of those.
With our first boss of the temple down, it was time to head further inside to find our next one. But, of course, we have to clear some trash along the way.
Thank God there's so many trolls in here. Alright, time for our second boss.
The second boss of the temple is the leader of the worshippers, Jamalan the Prophet. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it, this boss is very hard. His first three abilities are no big deal. Flame Strike blasts us for damage, Healing Wave heals him, and Earth Grab Totem summons a totem on the ground that roots you if you're near it. This totem is breakable though. Now the problematic ability is Hex of Jamalan. This ability targets a random player and causes them to turn to a troll friendly to him. Now you'd think this is like other mind control abilities and it can't target a single player, but this one I know for a fact can hit you. So it's going to be interesting to see if we can find out a way to avoid it. Before we get into the fight, let's talk loot. Jamalan has not one, not two, but 3 one-handed weapons and a cloak drop. This is 100% going to be the hardest fight we ever do in Classic, so it's going to be interesting to see if it's even possible. Let's just go for it.
It's too far away.
Okay, this seems to be working. Oh. Yeah. That root, so unfortunate. I should have broke the totem. So I think this will fully reset the fight now. I go friendly. Yeah. Oh man. Okay, that totem has to get broken immediately.
So, after that first attempt, I'm going to talk you through my strategy and how this fight works in more detail. Also, side note, at a certain point I switched to Ret Paladin as the damage from him isn't that bad and I needed to DPS him down a little bit quicker. So, first off, I don't think this fight is as tough as it seems, it's just an RNG nightmare. But I do think it's possible on Paladin if everything goes just your way. So, first things first, the pull. You want to stay close enough so he drops his initial totem at the altar. Once that's down, you need to stay in his range until he starts casting Flame Strike. After he casts that first Flame Strike, he will always cast Hex. So after that, we need to lead him to this corner and start DPSing him down. Sounds pretty simple, right? Well, this is where things start to get messy. After the first Hex, he'll use his next one about 20 seconds later. I say about because sometimes it's 18, sometimes it's 23, and that little difference is enough to ruin your entire attempt. But the main thing you're really hoping for is that Hex and Flame Strike are lined up. If they do, great. You just keep him in position, wait for the Flame Strike, then run around this corner, which will make Hex not hit you as he doesn't have a line of sight on you. Now, you might be thinking, why do you need them to line up if you know Hex is on a 20-second timer? The problem is he's pretty fast. Without the long cast time of Flame Strike to give us breathing room, dodging Hex consistently is nearly impossible, unless you've got Divine Steed ready, but even then it's rocky. Now, if you can get it lined up, this works for a while. But here's where it really falls apart. Once he starts casting Healing Wave, the timing usually gets completely out of sync. and now you're forced to rely on that 20-second hex timer and pray your divine steed is up. But this doesn't even matter that much because sometimes he'll just insta-cast hex in your face, and sometimes he'll just wait to cast it till you've already run away from him. There's just no consistency to when he uses this as the fight goes on. But there is one thing that makes me think this fight is actually doable. Hex doesn't always land. You can get hit with it, the timer runs out, and nothing happens. So in a perfect world, you could just face tank him the entire fight, being hex after hex and never actually get transformed. The perfect kill in an ideal world looks like this. You pull cleanly, get Flame Strike and Hex synced up, and hope he doesn't touch Healing Wave for as long as possible. Eventually the cycle will break, but if he's low enough, you can push through him before the mechanics get out of hand. And if not, maybe RNG will be on your side and let Hex just not work. If all these things combine, you just may be able to kill him as Paladin. Now, I had tried this for a long time, and you know what, let's take a look at how some of those attempts went.
Please, just do it. Why? Why did he wait so long? Yeah, the totem, dude. There's a chance it doesn't get me, but yeah. Oh, tagged me with it. I think I was on the edge of the range. Well, I mean, it could just not hit us, but yeah. Oh, he nicked me with it. Come on. I've never wanted to avoid just one this bad. This run has been going so well. Oh. It's so doable. Like, it's so doable. Like, I can do it. Yeah, I think I'm done attempting this. It's been a couple hours, I think. I don't think it's doable. Well, I think it's doable. I think it's extremely lucky, though, and I don't think it's worth trying to do now.
So after spending about 2.5 hours in the Sunken Temple, I decided to call it quits here. This fight will get done. I will do it, just not today. Maybe I'll even stream attempts of it, we'll see. But unfortunately with the Wall of Jamalon, I think this is where I'm gonna call the video for today. Hey everyone, just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry if the audio's a little just destroyed in this one, a little messed up. My mic broke partway through making it, so the mic I used in the actual footage is different from the mic I'm doing the voiceover with, so that's why it sounds a little bit different. It'll be a lot better in the next one because I'll record the gameplay with the same mic I'm doing the voiceover with. But anyways, please leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I will catch you in the next video. See ya. Bye.